So we're talking about your neighbor that got sold for what, prostitution?
Yes, they have these girls who came to you. They are everything about the government, the military, and their friends. They're all one thing. And they came like, oh, you need food, you need medicine, your parents are dying, you need money. We can't give you that. And they just take you to a boat, and nobody sees you again. Sometimes you came back and you'll recruit more people. Sometimes you die in the middle of travel.
Wait, so the parents think that they're going to go get money, go get food, but in reality they're getting sold to a different country.
Sometimes the parents don't even know their daughters are going. They're like, don't tell to anybody, so nobody going to sell.
And it's the government that does it. They come to the house or they find you somewhere?
It's the same people of the government. They are, this cartel is so big and they have so many parts, different parts.
The Venezuelan government, right?
Yeah, the Venezuelan, they have so many different parts that when you see at the end, everything is like the son of the president, the daughter of the vice president, and everyone has like this little part of the movement. It can be selling people, slaving people,
Drugs.
Yeah.
Wait, so time out. You told me for how many years that you and 5 other people lived on one thing of beans a day?
Like 2 years.
So the government gave you like a can of beans?
No, they gave us a box with food once a month, one for house. And it has like 1 kilo of rice, 1 of beans, like a quarter of kilo of pasta.
See?
Yeah, that was for a month.
You were telling me that you've met more people outside of Venezuela that say it was the Americans' fault or it's not that bad in Venezuela than in Venezuela?
Yes, people in Venezuela are actually kind of sick of the government. They don't believe a shit of what they said. And it's really hard to believe that it's the other country problem when they are actually shooting at you. But outside, it's like people told me to my face, like, you are lying. That's not like that. You are full of propaganda. And I'm like, no, my neighbor died. A friend of my mom, he was asking for medicine for the hospital, and he get kidnapped, tortured for 3 days, and they threw his body in the middle of the town.
What? Yeah, you showed me a photo of someone and that was like super skinny, and then they came to Brazil and then they gained weight. So I think maybe you're a little crazy, but I don't think you're lying to me.
Yeah.
Wait, so what do you got to say to people who, I want socialism, I want communism? What do you think about that?
I will ask for them to find a single country that work out like that. Like literally North and South Korea. Where do you go?
South Korea.
Yeah, like communism. I dare you to go to North Korea and survive.
Hold on. So you said one day they came to your grandpa's or parents' home and said, this is our farm now? Like, you can't do nothing about it?
No, you cannot. You cannot do nothing about it. My ex-husband, he has this neighbor, he has a farm too, and he said, like, I won't sell it, it's mine, has been mine for my family for 100 years. And they just came one day, the military came and raped his daughter.
What?
And his granddaughter. The granddaughter had like 8 years. And
8 years old?
Yeah. And they raped both in front of him to show him, like, you don't say no to us. And I think the mother who died, because she was trying to protect herself and her daughter, so the beatdown was so enormous, big, that she died, and the little girl went to a coma for a week. When she wake up, she was like traumatized. She was screaming. She was scratching her skin. It was.
This was in your town?
Yeah, my ex-husband town, near us.
What the fuck? Okay, so how bad was it? Hold on. When did it get really bad? Like 10 years ago we were talking about it got bad?
It was slow, but it was I think a breakup point was like in 2016. There was, I think, one of the worst moments of our history was the moment we realized, like a nation, that this shit's going down. And before that, we were trying to figure it out. Like, no, we don't have sugar, but we have this milk. And the other week you don't have any more milk, but it was sugar again, and it was like that.
Okay, and then you said, like, one night your husband and the family, they said, hey, we have a way out to Brazil. And they pack your bags. Can you tell me about your escape?
Yeah. We escaped because we spent like 5 days without energy in the entire country. And it was like, it's no way we can live here. And
This is what year?
2018, I think. Yeah, and they called us in the middle of the night, and they were like, "We can go to Brazil in 2 days. Tomorrow, in 2 days." And I looked at him, and I was like, "Yeah, let's go. Let's run out of here." And the travel itself is kind of hard because you are in this tiny bus that is not meant for long journeys, and it's overcrowded, and it's plenty of people. You have to pass through the luggage. You have to pass through the people. It's really crowded. It's really hot. It's messy, and every stop that you made, like with militaries in the way, they took a little bit. The driver have to get down of the bus and give them money so we can keep going.
So the military comes in there and just starts taking things?
Yeah. I remember in my bra, all the savings, all the family were in my bra. And I was like flirting with the words like, "You're so cute, let us pass." And they are dumb, so they let us pass.
But they took your phone and shit, or?
No, like everything was in my bra.
Oh, you just had everything.
Actually, for that moment, my cell phone was a piece of shit, so they don't give any worth to it.
Can I ask you, like, how much life savings was in your bra? Like, in dollar?
$200.
$200?
Yes.
And how long did that take to save that or all that money?
They take to sell almost everything we got.
So you're saying you sold the family, your husband's family, 6 people, you sold everything you had, and that life savings was about $200.
Yes, because everything they had before was lose any value. It's more, they had this beautiful home that normally would cost like $1 million.
USD?
Yeah, they had a beautiful home. When I'm saying this was a huge, beautiful house, and they have to sell like for 10,000 and buy another home, and that home right now is worth like 5,000.
Wait, why did they have to sell the home?
Because how this beautiful house is so big, so beautiful, and the government starts to say like, everything's the ones to blame are the richest So they got kidnapped in their own home like 2 or 3 times.
So they kidnapped them, then what?
Yeah, they were kidnapped inside their homes, and that people took everything they had and carried away in their own cars. Like, they kidnap you and steal your car with everything you had inside it.
They just work for the government? Where does that stuff go? Do they just keep it, or they give it to Maduro? Who gets it?
No, that was people. We have some people who are, I forgot the name now. They are like, have the blessing of the government for do whatever they want.
Okay.
And
Like the henchmen, yeah, okay.
yeah, they have the blessings. They are like in the motorcycles and things like that. And the government of Chavez said that Tupamaro, remember the name, Tupamaro. They were like these criminal bands from the neighborhoods, so they gave them the blessing to make anything they want, if they protect the government too.
You were saying Chavez was like, he was really popular, right?
Yeah.
And then why did it turn? Like, or first of all, why was he popular? And then second of all, why did it turn on him?
Populism. You start to say to people, you're not poor because you don't work. No, you're poor because somebody else is rich. And if somebody else is rich, you are poor. That actually is not how economy works, but it's a great way to say to people who do not make nothing about their life, like, it's not your fault, it's other people's fault. And that sells a lot. They gave a lot of things. They gave free money. They gave money for every child you had, what made a lot of women had plenty of childs. They gave money for being do not work. They gave money just to breathe. And
it was the oil money they nationalized, right? That's the money they gave?
Yes. The problem was he never ever fixed anything about the enterprise, nothing at all. So they, in the end, have to sell that. They have to China. China owns now all our oil.
What? All of it?
Almost all of it. China is the owner of the Venezuelan oil now.
I mean, how do they enforce it? I mean, if the Maduro government or Chavez, all them, they go into buildings and take what they want, rape children, do crazy shit, how do they just allow China to just take it out? Does China have like armed guards in Venezuela or what?
China gave them money.
So China's just, giving them money for the oil to support the regime.
Yes. Even in the Amazonas, China are the ones who are destroying the Amazonas to dig in gold.
Brazil is too, though. I mean, Brazil deforests. But the Venezuela part, China.
Yeah, the Venezuelan part. No, it is like really hard there. And we have slavery in that part. A lot of slaves.
Venezuelans?
Yeah. You can be kidnapped from the nearby towns. And they are like, you are working for us now. And you cannot say anything. Like, okay.
Okay, so what was it like being, at the time you were living there, you were a young 20s girl? I mean, so there was a chance that you could get raped or taken, or what did you do, hide? I mean, what was your day-to-day life like?
Yeah. Yes, it's a big possibility to being taken away or being raped. That's not a joke. It's actually a huge possibility. No, I had really bad character. I was like, bring it on, bitch. If you want to try it, you can. But I will fight for my life. I was like, I don't care. Shoot me if you want. But you won't take me.
But at this point, I mean, a lot of time you spent in a smaller town, right?
I spent some time in a bigger town in Maturin. That is a capital from the Monagas, and I spent time too in Margarita. There's an isle, beautiful. And then I went back to my country, my born place. That it is in the country. It's far away from almost everything, but now, like, we are frontier with Trinidad and open to the sea. We have a lot of crime, and we have a lot of narco traffic. Like, a lot of narco traffic. They rule there.
Oh, so your town is on the border?
Yeah, my town is in the border.
But you spent time in Caracas?
Caracas.
You spent time there?
Yes.
How old were you?
Different times of my life. I spent time when I was like 16. I spent time when I was 17 to 18. I spent time when I was in my 20s. I was jumping from a place to another.
What was the capital like then when you were living there?
When I was living there, it wasn't so bad. I didn't went too much to the streets, but there were a lot of fights. I remember one time, came to my memory, I was with my mom in a mall, and the mall has like this balcony to the street, and they start screaming, and people start running, and young people that were fighting was protesting actually, painting their hands white. They were being chased by the government, and it was like shooting and the people screaming. And I remember this clown was like with little kids, and he took every child in his arms. Like, I never saw something like that. And went running, like saving the kids and everything. And then you just can see the smoke, white smoke that pierce your eyes and make you cry. And then the quiet, everything got quiet, and you get out and you try to not see if there's blood of anything.
Your childhood friends, what are they doing now?
Most of them are in other countries. I have one in Chile. I have one in Argentina. I have one in Spain. And a few of them are still in Venezuela, but I try to make them come with me.
So you can communicate with them?
Yeah, not a lot of the time I want to, because communication sometimes can be really hard there. And we spent like 2 days without any internet, and the internet came back and we lose it again, and it's like that.
So people were legit starving in Venezuela. Like, I heard there's cannibalism in some streets. Like, people were eating each other. Are those propaganda, or what was the real story with starvation?
Starvation is real deal, but I never saw anybody eating other people. But I will not deny that, because the things I didn't see doesn't mean that didn't exist. I ate my chicken, and she was my pet. So
Chicken was your pet?
yeah, her name was Petra, and she became a soup.
Was this after, like, no food came from the government, so this was the last resort, or why?
The government only gave you a little small amount of food every 1 or 2 months. So it's no way you can survive with that.
Okay, you told me your family's been there for, 400 years, right?
Yeah, in Venezuela, yes.
So, like, your grandparents, or, like, what are the stories you heard about Venezuela when it was prosperous? Because, like, in the 1950s, it was one of the richest countries in the world.
Oh, it was great. For what I heard, it was a perfect place, a perfect time to live. The Venezuelan people were very welcoming to everyone, and they're like, oh, yes, come here, live here, raise your child here. And yeah, even they had no crime, almost no crime. Even my mother always say, like, when Pere Jimenez was the name of one of the presidents there. Was the president, the people could sleep with the door open, because it was such a low crime that didn't exist almost. So it was really good.
Wait, when did it start getting like bad? Like the 90s, or when did it start like making a downturn?
We had a problem in the 90s, the 1992, about 1992. The people weren't so happy about the government. It wasn't really bad, but they raised the price of the gasoline, so people went.
Because at the time, gasoline was like free for a long time,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, and they raised a bit the price. It wasn't that much, but people went crazy. Like, we are used to a certain type of life, and you're messing around with it. Then Chavez take advantage of that, and he tried to take the government by force, take the presidency by the force. He failed. He went to jail, and then he went out from jail. They gave him, they forgive the crimes, and then he ran for president and he won, like out of the blue.
And then what did he do to the opposition? He jailed them, or what happened when Chavez came back?
When Chavez came back, well, he won out of blue, but for being honest and being real with everyone, he told that I do not like socialism. I do not like.
I heard about that. Yeah, he said all that.
Yeah, he said like I don't think the socialism and communism is good. It's no country in the entire world have go with communism and get really nice about it.
Wait, hold on. Because Chavez was like doing a military coup. He was a rebel.
Yeah.
Right? And then they jailed him because of that. Like, he was trying to overthrow the government.
Yeah, he tried. Actually, a lot of people died that night. A lot of people died.
So then he got power, and he's like, he went away from his Marxist or communist ideals as a rebel and said, no, like, I want to lead differently, right?
Yeah, he told that. He said to the people like, no, I am not a communist. That's a big fat lie. Yeah. And he won for being president, and they start to be communism. And the government start taking the people's things, everything you had, they won, and they took it. And that started making a lot of companies run away from the country. And the other ones who were staying on the country, they was just absorbed by the government, and they went bankrupt.
I saw a video, a famous American YouTuber. He's been in every country. Mm-hmm. Redhead dude. Oh, fuck, I forgot his name. And he went to Venezuela. Mm-hmm. He had a guide and whatnot. And then he went to one of those Western malls that have all the Western things. It's super expensive, but I don't know. There's parts of Venezuela that are super rich and the rich go to, and it's fine, no?
They are tiny parts, but are mostly, when you see who belongs that mall, it belongs to someone of the government. The daughter of the president, the son of the president, the nephew of the president, and the people who buy things on that government are the son of the president, nephew of the president. So they make things for themselves.
So the percentage of the Venezuelans that think the government is full of shit and they don't like it, what percentage is that?
I think about right now it's like 80%.
How the hell can they stay in power if 80% of the people think it's bullshit?
They kill people, a lot of them. Every time a mob go out on the street, they just literally run over with the tanks.
What's the biggest revolution group that has tried to, put a stop to it? How many people were a part of it?
Wow. I know it was a mob once that really tried, really, but I think that they died like 100 people just in the capital.
So most people just be like, okay, fuck it. It is what it is. I'm gonna try to keep my family safe, try to survive, live day by day. What's the mindset of the average person living in Venezuela? Like, what do? Do they work? I mean,
Hunger. Actually, I'm going to say a thing. When you are that hungry, when you are starving, you do not think on anything else. You give a fuck about the government. I have been starving, and I know that feeling is like you dream about food, you dream about eating, you dream about having that Pepsi. You remember every slice of pizza you throw away. You remember every ounce of rice you throw away. So you are too exhausted. You are too focused in not dying to make anything.
so what did you do day to day? Like, when you were starving, what are you doing day to day?
I was trying. I literally went to the country. I was like, oh, look, a forest. I'm going to find something to eat. And plenty other people just died. Others were looking for in the trash. Plenty of people were looking for in the trash. And this was really sad. I saw a man fighting with a dog for a bone.
What?
Yeah.
And this is in the countryside.
No, that shit was on the city. It was a hair-breaking moment for me because I remember I was in the bus heading home, and I watched through the window, and I saw this man with the two childs he had, like a boy like 5 years and a girl she had like 4 years. They were with the school uniforms, and he was fighting with a dog for a bone.
Wait, tell me, what were you doing on the bus? You were working? What were you doing? School?
I think I was heading back to home from work. For that time, I was working. It was, how I said, not everybody can buy everything every day, but it's always someone who can buy it. And every time were less and less stores, and you need things. And for that moment, it wasn't that bad. But you can see the signs were there that shit was going down.
But the government blames it all on the Americans. Who does the government say the problem? Yeah, what's the propaganda of the government at that stage?
Yeah, they still blaming the Americans. Like literally, the police go to the street and they start to killing people. Like, I'm mad today, I'm going to kill people on the street. That happened with a few people that I know.
Whoa, tell me, what does that have to do with the American question?
No, they say like, no, it's fault of the government of the United States. Like that.
Yeah, because they're mad. So of the United States government, so they're going to kill people.
Yeah, they say a thing like that. Like, they're killing people. No, it's the fault of the United States. And we are starving. It's the fault of the United States. We had 5 days without energy in the entire country, and they said, and listen to this, it was an iguana sent for the United States.
It was a what?
An iguana, the lizard.
The lizard?
Yeah, the lizard. Who was?
What?
Yeah. He was sent for the United States with a microchip to intervene or circuits.
Whoa. So they said
An iguana.
A iguana, like an animal.
Yeah,
was,
the lizard.
The United States sent it to intervene.
Yeah, with a microchip.
Shut the fuck up.
Yeah, the people start to laugh so hard at it. They start making memes, and they switch then. They start
memes. Wait, hold. They're making memes on social media.
Yeah, for that moment they haven't controlled that much. They still have very, very a lot of problem controlling people because they are the government itself is quite. They don't have control over anything. They are like such dumb people. They are cruel, really, really cruel, but they are not organized at all. And plenty of people use other countries' internet. Like we have in my city, we have the internet of Trinidad and Tobago. It's really near, so we use it. And plenty of people use other countries.
So it's not like North Korea where it's totally shut off to the world.
Yeah, it's different to North Korea. I think it's because they took it from another point of the history, so it's harder to take away the phones from people.
Oh, because they had phones in the early 2000s, or they started.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's harder for them to block. It's a lot more worldly planet. We are more communicated in. Is what's very, very hard for them to take everything from people, but they make it hard. They make it every day harder, so you cannot. If your phone breaks, they make it harder for you to buy another one. So every time it's less and less.
How much money are people making per day right now, or when you were there in Venezuela? If they're working a job.
Well, most people do not sustain themselves with a job, cause our jobs were like $1 for a month.
What?
Yeah, $1 for a month of work, and the stuff were absurdly expensive. Like a kilo of sugar were like $2.
Hold on, time out. So someone's working a job for a month.
Yeah, and
9 hours a day.
yeah,
They're not making $1 a month.
yeah, they're making $1 a month.
What?
They're making $1.
Why the fuck would I? Why do people go to work if they can't afford a kilo of sugar after 1 month of work?
That's a great question. That's why I quit my job and start making other things, anything else. Normally, people have a job and have like three or four things they do extra about it besides the job. They have in their backyard mandioca, and they sell it, and they go to work, sell the fruit, sell the food wherever they do, and with that money buy more food.
But $1 a month? That sounds crazy to me.
Yeah.
There's no way it's $1.
Yeah, it's actually yes, it's $1. Yeah, no, I know.
Today, not 5-6 years ago. Today, it's $1.
Yeah, no, 5 years ago it was $1. It was.
Yeah, but now inflation, this gotta be $2 at least.
Yeah, it goes up and goes down. Yeah, because they put it to $2-3 and they go back to $1 very next day. It's more that even make it things easier for me.
Why is anybody working then? Tell me why they're gonna work for that.
Most things are closed, so a lot of people doesn't work, do not work there. Venezuela have plenty of cities that are ghost cities that nobody lives on them anymore. Maturin, that was where I used to live, I told, had like the half of the buildings are empty. A lot of beautiful houses are empty. My own house, I left empty. I was like, don't give a fuck, I'm getting out of here. With everything inside. It's like a lot of people. Other thing that government took advantage of it, like the people that go out, they send money to their families, and the government take a big chunk of that money.
Wait, they send it back from different countries?
Yeah, like I was here and my mom was there, so I sent money to her, and the government take a part of the money, and my mom can sustain herself with the money she take, with the money I gave.
Okay, so hold on. You're talking about your mom. So you obviously had the opportunity to leave,
Yeah.
and you left with your husband, their family, like, you had a short time to make a decision, and so you left your mother in Venezuela. I mean,
Correct.
tell me about that thought process, leaving your family. And I mean, did you ever think you were going to see her again?
I have the hope I see her again, but you never know. And it's that point of your life when you say like, shit, maybe I'd never see them again. It's really hard, and I have a huge depression when I came here, but I had to work, I had to send money, I have to keep her alive.
Wait, how'd you send money?
It's an interesting thing. You send money to a person, and that person send it to someone near the border. That person take the money from an ATM, pass the money through the border, exchange the money for dollars. They exchange the money again for bolívares. Then put it on the account that you wanted.
Wait, so it's with the border police. They get a cut, right?
No, well, the border police get a cut. It's no way that they don't do that. But it's mostly people who are from your civils, just civils that find that this is a job for them. And when the money get to the bank account, the government take a part too. They just simply say like, you have money. I'm going to keep with the half of it. I want to keep the half of it.
Wait, why does it go to a bank account, not cash? You're sending cash to them, no?
Yeah, but it's no way that you can send the cash to any part of the country. Like, you have little people, just a few people in this country that make that huge vote, that huge process. And they are always family. Like, I have this girl, this woman that I knew, and she has a nephew in the border, so I gave the money to her. She sent them via pics to her nephew. Mm-hmm. Her nephew there was in this side of the country, this side of the border, took the money from ATM, exchanging for dollars, crossed the border with the dollars, exchanging again for bolívares, and placed it to the account of my mom, because it was no way he will do the travel to Wiria, where I live.
Okay.
Yeah, imagine will be such a long journey, and if every guard that you find on your way,
you go broke.
Yeah.
Wait, tell me, why do they want the dollar exchange? Why can't they exchange reais? They want the government wants the dollar, or what?
Yeah, the government wants the dollars. It's very funny because in Venezuela it's forbidden to use dollars. It's like you are a person, you cannot have dollars. But everything the government, you have to pay to the government. They want you to pay in dollars.
So wait, the citizens pay the government in dollars?
The government asks for the citizens to give them dollars. But it's forbidden. You buy in dollars, you can't. You try to sell anything in dollars. If the government wants, they will come. They will take the dollars. They will take the object. They will take everything because that's illegal. But if you need to make your passport, you have to pay to them in dollars.
What?
Yeah, it's ironic, isn't it?
Wait, what can you do with a Venezuelan passport?
Not very much, I won't lie, but some countries, they accept it. And for some jobs, I have a friend who is captain of a ship, fishing ship in Trinidad, and he needs the passport for staying in Trinidad and keep working.
Hold on, where else have you heard people can travel with Venezuelan passport? I assume like Iran, maybe China. Where else?
Well, actually, Venezuelan passport, till I know, is haven't been like forbidden in any country. Some people are because they are from the government and nobody wants them. But for the citizens, it's an illegal go around the world.
But they can't afford it, or why can't they? Why can't someone just get a plane ticket to Brazil or Colombia and get the hell out?
Well, first of all, that's hell of expensive, and there are not so many planes. There are not a lot of flights going in or out of Venezuela because nobody has money, and a lot of the vast majority of companies do not want to work with the Venezuelan government. So the flights from Venezuela are very limited and very, very, very expensive.
So like it would take someone like years and years of saving up money to get a flight, but even if they save up that money, they'd probably get it stolen from someone, the government.
Yeah, basically. Takes a point that the money is so worthless that you need like 6 months of work to buy a kilo of carne, a kilo of meat. Yeah, that sounds crazy, but it's true. I made the calculation. Even that helped me a bit when I was selling little ice cream like ding dings here.
Okay.
And the street, I remember I have enough money to buy half of a kilo of sugar. Yes, we buy things for half there.
Okay.
And we had some fruit, so...
Wait, who's selling the kilo of sugar? Or half kilo?
A lot of people, they bring her... That kilo was from here, from Brazil. The people try to smoke, like...
Smuggle it in?
Yeah, like smoke cocaine, that you smoke sugar.
See?
Yeah, like that. And we sell this.
But hold on, you said a lot of people?
Lot of people now, but there are plenty of people that are willing to risk their life for food.
Okay.
And
so my bad, you were selling things and you had money to buy half a kilo of sugar. Now what?
Yeah, and they are still selling this little ice cream for the people who actually can buy it. And when I thought that things were getting better, we have 5 days with no energy, and I lost everything I had. It was so.
How'd you lose it?
With things that need refrigeration and no electricity, that rot.
Oh, it rotted? So you bought...
I made a lot of ice cream, simple ice creams to sell on the street. Yeah, I was living off that. And when I thought I was like, yeah, this shit's getting better, we're not starving anymore. I remember this sensation when I sell the first 13 ice creams in the street.
For how much?
I don't remember right now. I remember what I bought. I bought half of kilo of sugar again and 1 kilo of rice. That was the best rice of my life. It was, I remember I went home, I was like almost crying, and I was so happy. I was jumping of happiness because we had food. We haven't eaten in like 2 days almost.
Wait, how old were you then?
I was like 23.
Okay, so wait, you took the sugar and the rice and you made ice cream out of it?
No. I take half of kilo of sugar that I had money for half of kilo of sugar, and I have some fruits from my backyard.
See?
Yeah, some limes and some cherries, and I make ice cream. I sold those ice creams, 13.
Just on the street randomly?
Yeah, on the street randomly.
Who affords this? Who can buy this?
For where I was saying to you, where I used to live, it was a little bit better because we have a little bit of interest of money for the border.
Okay.
And a lot of prostitution. I won't lie. Prostitution and drugs that keep.
So wait, who pays for it? Like the border people? They just come over there and...
No, people from my side go to the other side. Women get prostitution and send money back home, and that's the money that
I'm curious, how much are those girls selling themselves for? Do you know?
I am not so sure. It depends in the woman. Depends. She's smart. She's cute. She's skinny. Prostitute varies, have immense variety of worth. I even once they tried to catch me to be a prostitute too.
Who's they?
Few people actually, like a girl and this guy who was actually working for the government. And he was like, everything's fine, and you are going to get a job of waitress there, and they promise you are going to make like $600 to $1,000
A month?
Yeah, it's not that much, but for a person who is making
yeah.
$1,
Yeah.
it's
Yeah.
it's way too much. And we survive. Literally, we use the money that prostitutes and drug dealers make. That's the money that's going around there in my city, mostly. I have this girl that I knew that her mother was like a horrible person, and she was like, I want to buy a phone. And her daughters just work a lot and send her the money to buy whatever she wants.
Daughter was a prostitute.
Yeah.
In Trinidad, Tobago?
Yes.
And it's like on the border, there's a lot of tourists that go there. Like, I didn't think Trinidad, Tobago was a rich country, no? It's just tourism?
A lot of tourism, but Trinidad and Tobago actually makes pretty good money. It's not rich, but isn't that poor either, and so it's like in the middle.
Yeah, I've heard in Colombia, a ton of Venezuelan girls have came to Colombia that are prostituting themselves out, and because there is a stereotype about the Venezuelan girl, like the beauty and whatnot, and in Europe, I think a lot of prostitutes in Europe there's some Venezuelans.
I have seen some girls I have seen some girls of other nationalities who claim to be Venezuelan because the stereotypes that you are beautiful, we are hot, we're anything, and that even makes the stereotype even bigger. But yes, it's an easy way to make money. I never did it, but I won't lie that I wasn't tempted in some points to do it.
To support the family and shit, yeah.
Yeah, and where we're starving, it's like, I don't give a shit enough for, no, it's because your family values, and you're like, I'm dying, I don't care that much.
I mean, I heard all about the stories in Eastern Europe when I lived there, what a lot of people went through. Yeah, it's fucked up. Okay, do you have any more crazy stories that you've heard from your friends or that you witnessed that would shock people about the horrors of communism, Venezuelan? What the fuck's going on?
Well, crazy stories I have like for days. How much time do you have?
Give me some crazy ones. I need some crazy shock value.
Well, let me think. Some of them are more depressing. I'm going to start with one I remember. The son of my friend, of my mother's friend, he lived like two streets near my home, where I'm a small city. He went to buy bread. We had bread for that instance. That's a miracle, by the way. And he was laughing to a joke that a comedian says, and the police came behind them and he was like, what are you laughing at? And he was like, this joke this comedian said, and they took it to the cemetery and give them such a big beat down that he died. They crushed every bone on that kid, 15 years. They broke the skull like 3-4 parts. They broke both arms. They broke like 7 ribs. They broke their legs was like mess.
What was how much about? He was listening a comedian on the.
No, he was a child who was laughing at a joke that a comedian said.
What, the comedian was there in person, or was it on
No, it was on TV.
Wait. So he's on the street,
Yeah.
and he just starts laughing to himself because he saw a video in the
He
what?
remember he was with his friends, and they were like, talking about that joke, and he was like with 2 friends that were taking 2, but the only one who got a beat down was him. The other friends like to witness the thing happen.
So there was just the little friend group, 15 years old, laughing at some joke they heard on the TV, and these dudes just said, "I'm gonna beat the fuck out of them for no reason."
Basically, basically.
This was in your home city?
Yes, in my home.
So do these dudes just patrol the city and look for shit to do? Like they're...
Basically, they patrol the streets, and they are like, I'm going to fuck this person's lives.
And then they also go and rob and do whatever they want. And rape everyone?
Yes, whatever they want. They have free will for the government to do whatever they please.
Where do they live? Like in houses by you?
No, this person actually were of policemen.
Mm-hmm.
They live in the space of policemen. I forgot name.
But it's in the neighborhood.
Yeah. But it's a house made only for them, and they live there.
Do they have like a family? Do they like...
No, they wasn't from there, because we have this thing there. The police of that city are not born or raised in that city. They are from the nearest one, or the lone. You become police here, but you are not going to be police in here. You are going to be police in another city. So you have no attachment.
Yeah.
You have no regrets. You can do anything you want. And your family is never going to know what you did, who you killed, who you raped. You are not going to find any judgmental faces around you. Your auntie is going to keep praying for your soul because you are such a good boy.
What the fuck?
Yeah, they made that for you can make anything you want and face no consequences.
Jesus. So they... Yeah, wow. Give me another story.
Okay, I was once with my ex-husband. We were at home, and we're actually visiting my ex-father-mother-in-law. We're at that home, and we were watching TV, and I start hearing a woman scream for help. I took 2 knives and ran to the street like someone's asking for help. In the moment, other person get out with a bat, different things, bats, anything, and we run, and they were trying to kidnap and rape their girls. The girls will have like 14 years.
The neighbors?
Yeah, no, the neighbors wasn't doing that. Just random people from the street. They were trying to enter, and we chased them with knife, with bats, with everything. For that moment, the police came and was trying to arrest everyone for trying to give it a beat down to people who was solely trying to enter to a home.
Okay, wait, so the people were random people trying to rape. They weren't the police or anything. They were just some random...
Yeah.
Okay. And then the police came...
To protect them.
Why would the police want to protect them?
Because they protect the police too. And they protect the government.
Whoa, time out. So now there's the government, there's the police, and there's these thugs. Wait, is the thugs the same people you said? Wait.
The Tupamaro? What I'd said before. Basically, the government was like, I'm going to open the jails, to anyone who want to protect us.
What? When was this?
Like 2017, they were like, you made what? I here for murder, raping, and everything, a lot of things. Like, do you want to protect our government? And they were like, yes, here's a gun. You're free to go.
Did they give them food or what? Or they just let them run loose?
They let them run loose.
Okay, so what happened in the situation? Like, the 14-year-old girls
No,
get
we
raped?
saved them. We saved them. Thanks God I heard that people screaming, because we saved them. We get in time. I myself run behind them like, if I get you, I will stab you to death. I'm not scared of death a long time ago. And the people on the streets, the good people, start to run towards them. When the police came, we were like, oh my God, do you believe these people? No? We are idiotically thinking that the police will protect us or will make anything for us. And they were like, we will take every one of you to jail. You were making something very illegal. You were defending yourself. And we were like, bring the bats. We are going to kill the police now.
So what happened?
No, in the end, there were too little of policemen.
Okay.
So they just like, we are going to talk other day with you. And they never come back. They are very coward people.
Wait, so the Venezuelan jails are still going, right? They just put people that don't like the government in the jail?
Yeah, basically.
Do you know anything about the jails there? How bad are they?
Are really bad. They're most that bad forgotten. They are like, they put you in there and your family feeds you however they could. If they are not able to feed you, you're just die.
How do you know that?
My mom had a friend who was there, and literally, like, people outside of the jail have to bring you food if you are there. The government are not going to give you a lot of food.
That's what I forgot to ask you. Okay, so you were making money here in Brazil and sending it back through all that weird shenanigans and transferring dollars and reais. So how did your mother get here?
Well, she sold everything she had. I mean, everything, every single memory she had, necklace for her grandmother, everything. And she had the luck to have a friend who helped her to get to at least the half of the way. And I was sending a little bit of money too, so she can put everything together. And she came barely with the money to just for the tickets, just for the ride. And when she came here to the border, I was paying everything for her. In the moment she came to the border, they have these tents with the ONU.
What?
We have these little houses that the ONU prepares, that the government of Brazil prepares for receiving people. And she called me from there. She made a call, and I buy for her a chip from here, and everything I was paying for her from here. She was living here in the border for a time, and every time she wanted to buy anything, she went there. She asked for the people's pics, and I make the transfer. I send her the money, and she have everything she needed.
Okay, Tema. So she sold everything to make the ride. Like, tell me all the things she sold and how much money she accumulated from that, and what she paid to get to the border.
I think she paid like $100 to get to the border. She sold 2 freezers.
2 what?
Freezers. Like,
Freezer to put food in?
yeah.
Okay.
She sold 2 of them. She sells some shares she had. She sells forks, knife, everything. Like when I say everything, she sell the bed she was sleeping on. She sell everything.
And she got $100 from it.
Yeah, she got $100 of everything. She managed herself to make $100 plus the money I sent her. No, with the money I sent her, she made $100. That everything that did not make $100 there.
Wait, when did she come here?
A year ago.
So what does she think about living in Brazil?
She loved it. She is crazy about Brazil. The first moment I took her in the supermarket, she was like, "Oh my God, this is so plenty of food." She was almost crying. She was so freaking happy. She was like, "Oh my God, I thought I never will see this amount of food together in the rest of my life."
What does she do, like, in Brazil? Like, her day-to-day life?
Well, she wake up, get on her phone, make breakfast. She's the housekeeper. She's staying home every day. She's just make whatever she wants. Normally, she's just in the phone. She go to the supermarket. It's her favorite way to go. Every time I don't find her, I know she's in the supermarket, just looking at the shelves. And she go to the church. We have a church really near home. And she make some friends and talk to them.
She lived in Venezuela when it was okay, though, right?
Yes. She lived when it was really good. And she had a lot of stories like, I made this amount of money, and she was like a waitress and she made tons of money and it was having the best life.
Okay, wow. So what do you think of America? Like, United States, obviously you've never been there, but you watched some films and you like the Harry Potter and all that kind of stuff. What is your envision of the United States?
Your health is way too expensive.
My what?
Healthcare system is way too expensive.
Okay.
For the rest, I don't have issue with you. There are some things I don't like about the new government's politics, about kids, about like transgenderism. It's like a 5-year-old kid should know this side.
Yeah, what is that like in Venezuela? Are they cutting dicks off in Venezuela, LGBTQT or what?
No to kids. We are like, if you want to be girl, boy, whatever you want, that's okay. But do not force your kid to do that shit. They're just kids. Let them be.
Okay, but hold on. I'm talking, big picture here. So, Venezuela, no food, starving. The government says it's all the Americans' fault. You watch Hollywood, you watch films. Like, what is your envision of the United States? Do you think the skyscrapers, New York City, Hollywood, like magical land, or what do you think?
No, I think it's a country like any other country. I think they have great things. I think they have bad things. I think they have huge cities and small towns like everyone else. And
how would you know any of this? Social media, research? Like, how would you know this stuff?
Social media, research, and I think that common sense helps a lot to these things. If you have a huge country, you have to have farmers, and if you have big cities with rich people, you have to have poor people near them. You have the great neighborhood, you have the hood beside it. Like, have family there too. I think that some people just watch these films and make this weird idea where United States, like New York, the Fifth Avenue, and that's all. And no, I think it's a country, a very, very interesting country. I will go there solely by the food of New York.
The food?
Yeah, for the food. Before everything, okay? I love eating. I'm skinny as hell, but I love eating. And I will go to the New York City, like Chinese neighborhood, Taiwan, Indian neighborhood, everything. Yeah, I will do that. Yeah, that's the only major reason I will go there. And maybe Disney.
Disney,
Yeah, Disney.
That's every Brazilian I met that's been to the United States. They always go to Disney World, in Orlando.
But I don't care so much about Disney how I care about my random food in New York. I will love that.
I mean, is that because of the starvation and whatnot that you love food, or what?
No, I love it from before, during, and after the starvation. During the starvation, you develop a new way to see the world, and a way, and new way to see food and everything. And you start to think like, I really want to taste this, and I wish that I had appreciate more when I did this, when I eat this, and so I want to experience the majority of food as I can.
So yeah, it's interesting though. So like, the starvation, it's like the only thing you think about is
food. Yes, but I was a foodie since before. I was always driven by my stomach, and I think I am a bigger foodie now after live through that.
Okay, last thing, then we wrap it up. Beautiful, lots of interesting things. So, your overall thoughts on socialism and communism, as in, okay, like the utopian, geez, I'm getting drunk, ideas, like, because that's what it is. Like, a lot of it is like, okay, let's live in this picture perfect world, but a lot of the times, people corrupt and you get weird shit. Just give me the breakdown about socialism and communism from your perspective.
That's a dream that it doesn't work. No, that shit doesn't work, period. Not work in paper. It doesn't work in real life. Definitely doesn't work in real life. You are incapable to treat every human being in the same way, because the people are not the same. We're way too different to each other. So there's no way we are going to have exactly the same things. We do not have the same dreams. We don't have the same aspirations. So why we will have the same things? It's stupid and idiotic, and it's a dumb dream. Should die already before more people die because of it.
All right. You heard it. You heard it there. All right. Well, thank you so much for sharing your story. And any final words?
Thank you, everyone who is listening, and I really hope that this will open your eyes. Maybe do not change your point of view, but give you a different perspective.
Beleza, live bold.